Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me on this Thursday, April 21st, live in the locker room. I'm Alan Locher. Cheryl Ladd's big break came when she was cast as Kris Munroe on ABC's Charlie's Angels in 1977. Cheryl is joining me today live to talk about her most recent film project, A Cowgirl Song, hitting theaters and digital tomorrow, April 22nd. A Cowgirl Song also stars Darcy Lynn and Savannah Lee May, with original music by the Imaginaries. As those watching know, Cheryl has enjoyed a career that has spanned television, film, Broadway, and beyond. She was last seen in the Lifetime Christmas movie Christmas Unwrapped as part of their It's a Wonderful Lifetime event. She also guest starred on HBO's Ballers and Showtime's Ray Donovan, where she played a foul-mouthed version of Vanna White. She also starred in FX's American Crime Story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, playing Linell Shapiro, the wife of Simpson's defense attorney, Robert Shapiro, portrayed by John Travolta. Cheryl is an ambassador for Childhelp, one of the largest national nonprofit organizations dedicated to the research, prevention, and treatment of child abuse. I can't begin to tell you it is such an honor to welcome Cheryl Ladd to the locker room. Hey, Cheryl.
Hi. Hi, Alan.
Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it.
Absolutely my pleasure. Nice to be with you.
You too. Fans are very excited you're here. Tell us, you broke your arm.
I did. I did something really silly.
I'm putting up the image of your broken arm right now.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
How did you do it?
Well, my husband and I were going somewhere and I realized I left my phone in our bathroom. So I quickly ran through the house. And as I was running through our bedroom, my housekeeper had the carpet rolled up so she could work on the hardwood floors. So I kind of leapt around her and then I got my phone. And as I'm running through and yakking at her and not paying attention, my foot caught the ridge on the carpeting and I went flying. And as I'm flying through the air, it's really interesting. It's like slow motion in your brain because my brain said, you are going to have your face rebuilt if you land on your face. Do something. So I rolled over in the air at the last minute and landed on my arm.
Oh my God.
It was not fun.
Painful.
It was terribly painful, but I had a wonderful doctor and he, you could see how when it broke completely, it was completely detached, the lower half of the arm to the upper half of the arm, but it shot straight up my arm, up through the muscle in my arm and out, and the other piece went away. Oh, it was so painful. I cannot tell you. But I had to carry a weight around for a couple of days after he put a cast on it. So it would pull that bone straight down so they could meet each other eventually. So it's been a long process, but I'm out of pain, thank God. And yeah, it's mending. So I'll be fine. And I didn't have to have surgery. I was really happy about that.
Thank God. That's a good thing. That's a good
Yeah.
thing. How are your daughter Jordan and your grandchildren doing?
Wonderful. I work out with Jordan. I've been missing it because I broke my arm. I can't do my Pilates class with Jordan. We do a Pilates class together on about every Sunday. And my three grandchildren I haven't seen as much as I wanted to because of COVID, of course. And then my daughter Lindsay, Lindsay is my stepdaughter. She's been my stepdaughter. She's the mother of the grandchildren. And she's off touring with Smokey Robinson. She sings backup for Smokey. And she's also an
That's
actor.
very cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool. I
Show
love
business, all
that.
family.
All
And
in the family.
it's been very exciting. Besides the movie coming out, my husband has a new book out, and it's called The Marble Sea. It is getting unbelievable reviews, and I'm hoping somebody's going to grab it for a limited miniseries. But he writes about Hollywood couples and circumstances that happen to them. And so there's a little of us in that in certain areas, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, it's The Marble Sea. It's such a great book. You won't be able to put it down.
I love it. I think I saw him post about it.
Yeah.
I saw him post about it. Well, tomorrow a Cowgirl Song opens. Please tell us
Yes.
about the movie and your character Erin that you play.
Well, it was kind of a dream come true because, as you know, I do sing. Dancing, not so much these days, but and it was just, and I am a grandmother, and the whole idea of getting to play this really interesting grandmother who was a huge country western star, lost her husband 4 years later. She has not done any music. She just, because they were such partners, sort of their relationship, I felt as I'm being her that it was like Brian and I, who have been partners in everything our whole life. But when her husband dies, she just doesn't feel it anymore. She just doesn't want to do it anymore. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel right. So, her son has a problem with the law, and her two granddaughters come to see what they can do about it. And she eventually decides the way she can help him and get some money to get him out of jail is to do a concert. And her one granddaughter is a barrel racer, and the other granddaughter is a singer-songwriter. So it's a beautiful, beautiful family movie. Great music, fun music, and just a terrific story and a lot of fun. Very family kind of movie.
And music, like I said, by the Imaginaries, right?
Yes, they're spectacular. They wrote. I got to sing three of the songs that they wrote for the film.
What was it like to get to do that again?
It was so fun because the music was so appropriate within the movie, but it's just music that you can enjoy just sitting and listening to. Wonderful, wonderful music, and just to be able to play that old country western singer, and she's got quite the accent, but she's really down home, and she really loves her family, and it was such a fun character to play. I mean, I have long hair and braids, and just she was a warm and wonderful person, and I really enjoyed playing her. And a character. She's
And
kind of a character.
well, I love a grandma, who's a character.
Yep,
It's a
she
lot of
is.
fun.
She kind of tells it like it.
Probably like a lot of grandmas out there.
Yeah,
What was it like working
get
with?
older. I was going to say, as you get older, you don't censor yourself quite so much.
What was it like working with Darcy Lynn and Savannah Lee May?
They were heaven. They were both adorable girls. Both of them sing like angels, and they were so much fun because when we were waiting for a shot to get set up, they would just start singing and harmonizing everything from, every kind of rock and roll to R&B. I mean, they all knew the same song. And they were so fun. And then they get up and dance. They were so sweet and so much fun. They kept it interesting.
I love that. Did getting the opportunity to sing again sort of wet your whistle to want to put more music out there?
I think it was just exactly the right character, the right movie, the right music. It made me go, I like singing. I haven't done it for a while. And yeah, it felt good. Might have to maybe do a you know, little album.
Well, I know fans, while I was promoting, this interview, they were all talking about all the albums and music of yours that they have and that they still listen to.
Oh,
So,
I love
uh,
that. I love
yeah,
that.
so many people were mentioning that. Well, I did not remember this, and I'm sure I knew this, when I was watching Charlie's Angels, but your first professional break came as the singing voice of Melody on Josie and the Pussycats. What do you remember about getting, I mean, the fact that you wanted to sing and then to get that part to be able to sing, what was that like?
Well, it allowed me to stay in LA, gave me a real live job. I bought my first car, a used white Mustang, and I became friends with one of the songwriters, and I became friends, and we had an apartment together. I mean, it literally let me stay in Los Angeles and have a regular job. And then I got into an acting class because I could afford to go to acting class. And yeah, it was the mustard seed that really gave me a chance to grow and to stay there
Wow.
and pursue my career. It was such a gift.
Well, and this Charlie's Angels nerd on this side of the camera loves the fact that you had a Mustang before you drove one on television.
Yeah, a little irony there. Yeah. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Was it a Cobra?
No, Cobras weren't out yet.
I love that. I love that. You originally, which is amazing,
I will tell you,
said no to. Yeah.
I was just going to say that this is a true story. When I got all those things happening in my life, I drove out. I grew up in South Dakota. It's 40 below zero in the wintertime. So I drove out to the beach in Malibu. I walked out to the sand, and like Scarlett O'Hara, I picked up a whole wad of sand, and I said, as God is my witness, I'm never going to be cold again.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, my friend Kris just said, please do an album. I just saw his message pop up. So I'm telling you, people would love it.
Oh.
Would love it.
That may
so
happen.
you originally
Might be a little album. That would be fun.
So you originally said no to Charlie's Angels. What finally convinced you to say yes?
Well, the reason I said no is you have to remember who Farrah was within that moment, and she was everything, and just knocked everybody's socks off. And I thought, who in their right mind and how is somebody going to try to take that space? Try to be on that show. It didn't make any sense to me how that could happen. So Aaron asked me immediately. I was his first choice immediately because I had worked with him several times already in some of his shows, and I did Satan School for Girls with Kate. Anyway, so I said no, and he looked for a couple of months. He looked for someone else, and then I ran into him at the Palm Restaurant, interestingly enough, and he called me the next day and he said, well, just come and talk to me. I want to know why. And I said the same thing to him, like, who is going to do this? How are you going to make this person? I don't care who it is. It's going to be tough. And I said, he said, well, what kind of character do you see it being? I said, I don't know if I could be funny. He said, why couldn't you be funny? I like funny. And I said, if she was the real rookie and made some mistakes and but was trying really hard, because we all fight for the underdog. We like the underdog, we fight for them. And he said, I love both those things. And then Aaron's genius, he said, I've got it. What if you're Farrah's little sister and you're already family and the girls already know you but haven't seen you for a long time? And I just looked at him and went, see, this is why this man is so good at what he does.
Yeah,
I said,
exactly.
That is going to work. That's genius. If I can be funny and trying really hard and being the underdog and I'm Farrah's little sister, I'm in. I could make sense of who Kris Munroe was going to be.
What we all know he was a genius.
And he wasn't going to take no for an answer. And I love him for that.
Looking back on that now, is there one piece of advice you wish someone maybe would have shared before you actually took that part?
Yes. I wish someone had told me that I couldn't be all things to all people all the time, in the sense that we were doing 28 episodes a season. all the press and all of that. And then on the hiatus, when we had 3.5 months of hiatus, I was doing movies of the week and my own specials, and the whole time I have a 2-year-old daughter, but I just kept hearing from everybody, you're hot now. You got to strike while you're hot. You got to just go, 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 go. And I wish someone had said to me, take a month off. Don't do anything. Be a person. Be with your friends. Be with your child. Be with your family. Stop. If someone had told me that, I don't think I would have, I don't know, maybe not have gotten a divorce. I don't know. All I'm saying is my marriage tanked, and I was just so burnt out. By the time it was over, I swore I would never, ever, ever do a series again. That's how exhausted, and as much as I loved the show, I loved being Kris Munroe. I loved doing it. As a human being, I nearly killed myself. I mean, I was so constantly. I got a phone call. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You were constantly what?
I can't hear you. Sorry.
Can you?
Hold on. Let me see if I can fix it.
It might just have to go to voicemail. Oh, we lost her. I didn't realize. Hopefully she will just click the link again and come back. So give us a second. Let's see what happens. I hope everyone's enjoying this. I know I am. Hopefully she will come back. I will text her. Thanks everybody for watching and your patience. It's audio only. She broke her arm, so couldn't do her own hair and makeup. So I hope everybody understands. Let's see what happens. I hope she's coming back. Come back, Cheryl. She has great stories. Hold on, everybody. We're trying. That was her. So hopefully. There she is. There you are. See, technology, the phone rings and it cuts us out.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. I have to tell you this story just because it's so, I grew up, I told you on the phone, I grew up on the show. I have a very tight knit group of friends I've been friends with for decades, George, Ron, and myself. And we always call ourselves the OG Angels, the original Angels, because it's been the three of us for years. And then another friend, Paul, came into our lives like a couple years later, and he is our Kris Munroe. We love him to death, and it's just, you know, he is a part of our family. And you really came into that show, you know, that first episode, Waikiki Angels, and you knocked everybody's socks off.
Oh, how sweet. And I love that you guys call yourselves the Charlie's Angels. I cannot tell you how often I do the pose with people on every movie set. I have to do the Charlie's Angels pose with someone.
I'm so mad that I didn't put that picture up to show, because I have it of my friends. We do it all the time. But I do have, I will email it to you. I am going to email it. But look, this picture is me in front of the Royal Hawaiian on my honeymoon 9 years ago.
I love it. I remember that like it was yesterday. We took all our pictures out there.
I mean, you know, not only getting that part, but, you know, your first episode is on the beaches of Hawaii. I mean, what was that like when you think back?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was so exciting. And yeah, it was Hawaii. I mean, you can't feel bad in Hawaii.
You really can't.
And it's like, so beautiful.
It's like they threw you a party to, you know, to kick it off.
Yes, they really did. They wanted when I walked through that door in Charlie's office, people were saying that the energy I had when I came through the door, it just told everybody who Kris was, how excited she was. So I think it helped people be excited with me. You know what I'm saying? I could almost feel it when it first aired, that people were really feeling the character, which was such a reward. And I love all my Charlie's Angels fans. They have been stalwarts with me over all these years. And, you know, everywhere I go. So as I said, somebody wants to do the pose, but I can't tell you how many young women and young men said that during some of their darkest times, they watched Charlie's Angels and felt connected. And that just makes my heart burst. I don't know. I feel like I have so many friends who are Charlie's Angels fans.
You really, I don't know what it was. You know, it started when I was 10 in 76. And I was, you know, I got to interview Jacqueline in like September of 2020. And I told her I used to literally, you know, before DVRs and VCRs, I taped it on audio cassette and I would go to sleep listening to you ladies. I don't know what it was, but it, you know, you know, maybe it was part of, you know, helping me, you know, through a time, but it really was a comfort, you know. I mean, here we are, you and I having this conversation 45 years after your debut. Could you have ever imagined that?
No. Oh, no. It was hard to imagine that I just turned 70.
Wow.
Because I don't feel 70. I don't think I look 70, but I still have a lot of Kris Munroe energy, which is amazing.
That is incredible. I love that. Love that. But you really, all of you Angels are, and continue to be role models and an inspiration to millions of women around the world.
Yes.
It's a testament to what you all brought to your individual roles.
Yeah. I remember I was down in Louisiana and in New Orleans, and this police sergeant walked up to me, this woman, and said, "I just had to come and thank you." I said, "Thank me?" And she said, "Yeah. If it wasn't for you, I would not be wearing this badge and not be the sergeant." And hugged me, and she said, I knew that I wanted to be, you girls inspired me. I wanted to be something out there. And I knew I could do it. And you helped me know I could do it. And it was just so moving. I mean, I think I cried. It was just so kind and so sweet. And she was so proud that she was a police sergeant. You know, I
I
get a lot of
mean,
stories like that.
I can't think of a better reward, really.
Right. Right. It opened a lot of,
And,
and a lot of people who were not around at that time don't understand that un, until that late 70s, when there was this big movement for women, a women's movement, that, women were teachers, nurses, nothing wrong with these jobs. I'm not putting them down. They were glad to have them. Teachers, nurses, just secretaries, there were certain jobs that were appropriate, quote unquote, for women. And that was it.
hmm.
So to have all of these, I mean, I have the Army officers, women, and I cannot tell you how many women firemen who have thanked me because they knew that they could do more and they could do something exciting that they really believed in that would help other people. It's just been extraordinary. And that's when I say I love my Charlie's Angels fans. I really love them.
Well, your fans love you, as Kris just said. You rescued the show when Farrah left, and us Angel fans love your friendship with Jacqueline Smith. What is it like when the two of you get together?
Well, because of COVID, we haven't gotten together as often as we have before. And I don't live in California, so it's a little more cumbersome. But every time in LA, we see each other. And I'm in LA, and I just can't tell you, we talk. But when we talk, as my husband says, as he goes by the door, I'm sitting in my library. He goes by the door. Are you still on the phone? Yeah, we have some pretty good talks. She's just, I adore her. She's just a love.
It's thank you for the I'll say it for the fans. Thank you for the memories, and it's something when fans watch a show to be able to see that the people who perform those characters we fall in love with like each other and remain all these decades later. So
I have to tell you a really sweet story about Jacqueline. When Jordan would come to the set and visit, I mean, Jacqueline just melted, because at that point in Jacqueline's life, she said, I can't wait to have kids. Oh, I want to have a little girl like Jordan. And she was all about having a baby. And it was so darling. And so she just wanted to talk about it all the time. I love that about her, because I knew she was going to be a great mama.
Yeah, I remember, as I read about all of you, I remember her always saying I wanted children.
Yes.
So it's nice to see life work out in
Yeah.
that great way. What was it like playing opposite John Travolta and getting to play Linell Shapiro?
It was a wonderful experience, but I think the thing I liked the most about it was the fact that we got famous, both of us, right around the same time in the
Oh,
world.
right.
And,
Yeah, 70s. Yeah, 77, exactly.
and we had a bunch of mutual acquaintances and friends, and he and I had never met. So needless to say, between shots, when they were setting up the next shot, we would bump the gums until they dragged us back onto the set, and just had so much fun talking and talking about people we knew and talking about what it was like to get famous overnight. And I love him. He was just wonderful.
I love that. And I read that you and you knew OJ and Nicole.
Yes, actually,
Wow.
my husband David Ladd, at the time, went to college when OJ was at the same college. They were in the same school, and remained friends. And then they ended up doing a movie together.
Wow.
And so I met OJ with David when David was doing a movie, and OJ was in it. And I will never forget the night he came over to our house, and brought Nicole for the first time. And she was so sweet and so very shy, didn't say very much, and so beautiful. Oh, when I think of what happened to her, I can't bear it.
Mm.
Anyway, but yes, I
Yeah,
remember meeting her.
absolutely.
What a darling, darling girl.
And just so interesting how life works out that you're in that movie.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
life just works in mysterious ways. Before I let you go, you're an ambassador for Childhelp, which amazes me. I mean, doesn't amaze me, but the fact that you've been involved with them since Charlie's Angels. How did you get
Yes.
involved, and what continues to make you do work for the organization?
The true story is I was reading the newspaper. Jordan was 1.5 years old, 2 years old. And it was my first year of Charlie's Angels. And I was reading the newspaper in a big chair, and she was sitting on the floor next to me playing with some toy or something. And I just was watching her, and I'm reading the newspaper. And as I closed the newspaper, there was a little column right in the very last page, and it says, "Father beats child to death." And when I tell you, it it struck me like a lightning bolt. I went, what? And I read it again, and I said, this can't be true. Nobody would do that to a child. Anyway, to make long story short, I did some more investigation about child abuse and found out that child abuse was actually an epidemic in our country, and no one was talking about it. A lot of people were trying to deal with it, but nobody was talking about it. So when ABC, because I was their little star now, they said, come on in, we want to talk to you about doing a movie of the week for us. And I said, I would love to do a movie of the week for you. And I know exactly the movie I would like to make. They said, wonderful, tell us about it. And I said, I told them about what I had discovered about child abuse. And I said, and I want to play the abuser. And
Wow.
I wish I'd had pictures of their faces, because jaws dropped, and no one said a word for like 2 minutes. They're like, because I knew they wanted something with beach and bikinis. I knew that. I knew that's what we're going to go for. And I said, no, I understand it's a very difficult subject, but I said, it needs to be brought out of the closet, and somebody needs to start dealing with this. And I am determined to make this movie. Now, they only had me signed for Charlie's Angels. ABC did not have me signed for Movies of the Week. So I bravely said, now, how I got this courage, I will never know. I was 27 years old and talking like, I knew what I was talking about.
Like you ran the network.
Exactly. So I said, I am going to be taking it to another network, because I'm determined to bring this out into the spotlight. And they said, well, now let's talk about it. So they talked it through, and eventually they said yes, that they would make the movie. So I made When She Was Bad with Bob Urich, and it was one of the breakthrough movies about child abuse that was putting a spotlight out in the country. I'm really proud of it. And because of that movie, Sarah O'Meara and Yvonne Feddersen, who run the Childhelp organization, who were young actresses. A lot of people don't know that they were Ricky Nelson and David Nelson's girlfriends on the Ozzie and Harriet show. So
Oh,
they were
wow.
young actresses, and they would go out and perform for the troops. And they saw all these young children in the streets, in Japan and Korea. And so they tried to help them. And that was the first start of them being interested in helping children. And they started Childhelp many years after that, and called me. Now this is the best story. Do we have time for this?
Yeah, I was putting up the website so
Oh,
people can.
perfect. So, where was I? Oh, I went
You
on
were
the
talking
I
about.
did the movie. I did the movie, and I went on Dinah Shore's show to promote the movie and to talk about child abuse and da, da, da. And at the end of our segment, I said, "Could I say something into the camera?" She said, "I love Dinah Shore. She was just a love." And she said, "Honey, you just say whatever you want." I said, "Okay." So the camera comes up, and I said, "I would like to reach out to, if there's anyone out there with an organization or something, people that are doing something about child abuse, please contact me. I want to help." So I walked off. My segment was over. I was walking off the soundstage in the studio, and a little man comes up to me and said, "Miss Ladd, there's a phone call for you. Follow me. There's a phone on the wall over here." I go over, I pick up the phone, and I hear Sarah O'Meara and Yvonne Feddersen. They're saying, "Cheryl, we're Sarah O'Meara and Yvonne Feddersen, and we are fighting for and helping abused children. And would you come and see what we're doing? We love you, honey, and we need you." And I've been with them
Wow.
44 years, I think, helping them in their organization and helping abused children.
And has it gotten any better?
It's been my try to help. Well, I think there are a lot more ways that children can get help for themselves with hotlines, and people are much more attuned to it, and teachers are much more attuned to seeing it, and schools
And
have people
report,
that kids
and the
can go
schools are
talk to
reporting it. Yeah.
and report. Yes. So it has changed quite a bit. But there's a lot of abuse, and there was, people the whole time. People were shut into the house together during COVID, and people aren't making money, and everybody's frustrated, and everybody's scared, and I think there was a big rise in it then, and it's understandable. It's awful, but I have a real heart for little children, and that's where God put me. And it was all a God thing. It was all about what God wanted me to do, or I would not have been so struck reading that article. And
Well,
having
you were a
now
mother.
some, and I looked down at Jordan like, how could anyone hurt a child like that? It was mind-boggling. But anyway, so in a way, having my celebrity really helped me bring it to the forefront and do that movie and all of that. And as I said, I've been working with them now my whole career. Childhelp is an unbelievable organization.
Well, please, folks, go check it out at childhelp.org. I mean, Cheryl, another great thing to come out of, Charlie's Angels.
That's right.
And getting that movie, and the fact that you fought for that movie is just, like you said, at 27, being sort of new, in that, having that gumption to do it. Amazing. It is such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. I love talking to you too, Alan.
I'm going to send you the picture of my friends with us doing the angel pose. I will send that to you so you can see us.
Do. I would love to see it.
I wasn't kidding. And everybody, please check out Cheryl's new movie, A Cowgirl Song, hitting theaters and digital tomorrow, April 22nd. Cheryl, you take care of that arm, and I hope to see you in person one of these days.
I would love that. Okay, Alan. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Cheryl Ladd. What a dream come true. Again, please check out Cheryl's movie, hitting theaters tomorrow, A Cowgirl Song. Join me next Friday, April 29th, for a tribute show dedicated to the one and only Lisa Brown. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please turn on notifications down below for reminders of all upcoming shows. And if you get a chance, check out my new website, thelocherroom.com. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you next week. Be safe, everybody.